It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, and social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Hello, gorgeous. I am your host, Kevin McIntosh. Thank you so much for joining us today. Now, in case you are one of the people that is possibly looking for a career change, there's a lot of different opportunities going on. And most recently, there was a career expo at the J Detroit for local people looking to find their next job opportunity. And the Splash Live's very own Jake Schaff has the story.
It can be a challenging and very tiring process to find a new job, a feeling I'm sure a lot of people know all too well. But no matter how hard the search may be, there will always be resources available to help you find your next place of employment. A career expo was recently held at the J Detroit in West Bloomfield this past Wednesday, giving people the chance to meet some prospective employers and to help put them on the right path to success.
We are doing a career expo today for organizations and agencies that are in the Jewish communal world. And our goal was really to highlight how many incredible agencies we have and the work that they're doing and support them in finding incredible professionals and doing that work. We have different job agencies who are here seeking employees, but we also have benefits such as headshots and resume writing and career support thanks to Gesher and our partnership with them. So it isn't just about job seeking, it's really about job support overall.
I think it's really great to see new faces in the community and have them come out and check out our nonprofits. I think it's really great to bring things out of the digital world and have people come meet face to face and really get to know the people that they may want to work for or work with. We always are looking for people who we think will fit in with us and who are just generally good people.
It was very diverse group of representatives here to help out. They were able to really put me in touch, or at least speak with me on a positive level to try and encourage me to reach back. Everybody asked for a resume. Everybody was very inquisitive of my skills and what I could bring. And I think that was the biggest takeaway I took. It wasn't just about the 3 to 6 jobs that they had in front of them. I think a lot of it had to do with they were thinking ahead of what other opportunities there might be, which is what this is really about. It's about connections, and that's always a positive in any situation when you're seeking employment.
How beneficial would you say expos like this are to people looking for a career change or looking for something new?
I think they're super helpful because it is not always just about looking for a job or knowing what you're looking for, but having the opportunity to learn more about what exists in the community and the type of things that are out there, because sometimes you don't even know. So it isn't just the end goal of the job seeking, it's all of those other great elements.
You never know where the next big opportunity might be. So if you're struggling to find work, don't be afraid to check out expos like these, as they'll help you meet the right people and help give you the resources you need to help become even greater. For Civic Center TV, I'm Jake Schaff.
Thank you so much for that story, Jake. Important information to know in case you are looking for a job. We will keep you updated on any and all other events coming up for those job and career opportunities for you. Other things going on, we all know that it is election year, a lot of different things going on, but we like to focus on the local election and things going on. And more specifically, WB Parks has put a 20-year, $25 million bond proposal on the August 6th ballot that will go towards a massive expansion of the Recreation Activity Center right next door to us at the Town Hall complex, by the way. There's a lot of moving parts that go on with this. Potential upgrade for the rec, as a matter of fact, potential amenities, different benefits that we all get to take advantage of as a community, and just the cost alone. There's so many different moving parts. As a matter of fact, WB Parks just released their informational page on their website, so you can check that out at wbparks.org. We also have more information on our website. You can go to civiccentertv.com and go to the on-demand page and go to a tab called Recreation Activity Center. The Future of Fun in West Bloomfield has a lot more information for you right there, so go ahead and check that out. We also have a lot more information for you to tell you what's going on right here in your backyard in West Bloomfield, Sylvan Lake, Orchard Lake, and Kego Harbor. Stay right here. We are live, we are local, we are social on the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live. Bringing you stories and memories from West Bloomfield. Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. The West Bloomfield Youth Assistants will be recognizing local youth for their volunteer service, personal growth, and leadership. Join us as schools, hospitals, and religious organizations nominate the up-and-comers in your community. Show your pride for our future. The Youth Recognition Awards, May 1st, 6 p.m. at the West Bloomfield Middle School. This community update from Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Find local municipal meetings at our program schedule on civiccentertv.com. Find when your meetings air live or when they're replaying on our Civic Center TV live stream. Find it all at civiccentertv.com and click schedule at the top of the screen. And now, back to the Splash, live.
That's right, live, local, and social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Thank you again for joining me. I'm your host, Kevin McIntosh. The Clinton River Trail has been around for quite some time. As a matter of fact, celebrating 20 years of being around in our local backyards. And it's not easy keeping this trail maintained and making sure that we can all enjoy a very safe and great trail. As a matter of fact, the Friends of the Clinton River Trail are solely responsible, one of the major groups responsible for maintaining this trail and making sure we are all safe. And they recently spoke at the Sylvan Lake City Council meeting, and here's what they actually had to say about it.
The Friends of the Clinton River Trail continues to source volunteer hours and in certain cases money to help the cities with the important work that they do and the important investments that they make in the trail. And through your work and through your investments, you serve your residents, their neighbors, and the broader community so well by providing all of us a safe and healthy place to be outside, to exercise, and to socialize. The Friends of the Clinton River Trail celebrate that, and we genuinely thank you.
And we celebrate and want to thank the Friends of the Clinton River Trail also. And joining us right now is the Vice President of the Friends of the Clinton River Trail, a man that you just saw, as a matter of fact, Josh Eichenhorn, joining us on the Splash Live. Thank you for your time, Josh. I think we're having some slight audio issues with Josh as of right now, so we're going to
Can you hear me okay?
try to get... Oh, yep, there you go, Josh. Can you hear me?
I said, thank you very much, and thanks for having me.
There we go. No problem, sir. Thank you again for being here, taking time out of your day. Talk about what's going on at the Clinton River Trail. You had a moment last night, or I should say recently, to speak at the Sylvan Lake City Council meeting. Can you just talk overall about, the Clinton River Trail, the status of it, and then what you had to present at the meeting recently?
Well, the Clinton River Trail is turning 20 this year. 20 years ago in 2004, 5 cities that own the trail, 5 cities that worked over the course of years to acquire and develop this trail, signed a memorandum of understanding where they agreed to work together on areas of mutual interest for the trail, and get together regularly and talk about their agenda and plans for the trail to make sure we remain all coordinated. So the Friends Group considers this signing of the memorandum of understanding in 2004 as the official birthday of the trail. So we're turning 20 And we're having a party next month in May, on May 22nd. And one of the reasons why I wanted to go before the Sylvan Lake City Council, and frankly, the other 4 city councils of the trail owning communities, was to share this exciting news, remind them of the importance of the work that they do on the trail, and to invite them and frankly, everyone in the community to our party on May 22nd.
May 22nd. I got to make sure I'm writing that down right now because I want to make sure I'm there. I enjoy the Clinton River Trail. Someone who's new to the West Bloomfield area and the Sylvan Lake and West Bloomfield greater area, I'm starting to really hone in and enjoy and see and take in a lot of the great things that we have here, the nature trails, like we're saying, the Clinton River Trail specifically. I love the views right along the water. It's great right in the morning when you want to take a run or walk, just get some refreshing. I see you also do some biking also. 20 years though, 20 years. Just talk about the growth and the expansion of the Clinton River Trail and the work that the Friends of the Clinton River Trail has done throughout those years.
Well, so the work is ongoing. There's constant need for development. I mean, parts of the trail, technically aren't finished. There's amazing work going on in Pontiac right now to connect the trail. We currently have a temporary connector along South Boulevard, but to connect the trail. But there's also an enormous amount of energy, work, and investment that goes into just maintaining it. We recently worked with Pontiac and a little bit of Sylvan Lake to complete a resurfacing project. Parts of the trail had overgrown, and we had to resurface the part of the trail from Bagley to Bodette Park in Pontiac. And as part of that project, there was a reconfiguration to make safer the crossing at Pontiac Drive in Sylvan and Lake. So this is just a couple of examples of the continuous work that goes on by the cities who own the trail, along with the Friends group that help encourage the cities to continue to maintain this, as well as help along the way with volunteer hours and sometimes money. It's an ongoing project. And Kevin, if I could, you talk about the importance of this trail to our communities. I will tell you, in the height of the pandemic, in 2020, I said to my then 19-year-old son, "Hey, Eddie, if you agree to join me on a bike ride across the state of Michigan, I'll buy you a really nice bike." He was, he's getting close to college. He was going to need to ride around. And he agreed to do that. And it was really interesting because as we were preparing for that ride, we were also watching a bridge in a neighboring community over M5 go up. It was a pedestrian bridge. A lot of people know about it now, and they walk across it now. And as I was riding across the state of Michigan with Eddie in 2020, and we came upon this bridge, it hit me that if this bridge hadn't been built, this ride doesn't happen, and this special bonding moment doesn't happen.
Good point.
And then we came to the Telegraph Bridge, which is right where Sylvan Lake connects with Pontiac, and that bridge was also built not too long ago. It's, I believe, 2010. And if that bridge wasn't there, that ride doesn't happen. And then I started noticing little things like the park benches and the informative signs, and the fact that these surfaces that I was just talking about were well groomed and well kept and well cared for. And it hit me that trails don't just happen; people make them happen. Communities make them happen. That's how I got involved in the Clinton River Trail organization, the Friends group. But it just is such a wonderful experience, the ability to bond with friends and family, get out, exercise, be healthy. These trails mean a lot, and I really, really hope that people understand that, and they're welcome to get involved with our Friends group. We can be reached at Clinton River Trail at gmail.com or through our website, clintonrivertrail.org. It's really important that people lean into this and keep taking care of this incredible asset.
No, 100%. No, you gave a mouthful right there too. Joining us right now is the Vice President of the Friends of the Clinton River Trail, Josh Eichenhorn, talking about his recent meeting at the Sylvan Lake City Council meeting, and talking about their 20-year anniversary, by the way, which they will be celebrating in May. Yeah, you answered a lot of my questions already, Josh, but just kind of going back to elaborate on something that you spoke on. We already know that the city does their part when it comes to adding things and improving the trail, like you said, adding those overpasses, those benches and signs. But what about the actual community? Talk about the work that the actual community and how you all get the community involved to make sure they do their part also to make sure that it's safe.
Well, thank you. I mean, so safety is important. Safety is well, it's always been important, but to some extent it's becoming more important with the advent, and these are in many cases wonderful things of e-bikes and things like that. You know, people have to make sure that when they're using the trail, that they do so in a courteous and respectful manner. Slow down and say hello. It's a community asset. Be friendly with your community. Slow down and say hello. Don't run up the trail if it's a little wet. Maybe that's not a great day to ride a bike on the trail. So there's a lot of things that can be done to take care of the trail. But what I will tell you is the most important thing that people can do to take care of this trail is to use it, to love it, to nurture it, and to enjoy it. You know, when we talk to people about what they can do for the trail, the first thing we say is get out, use it, and enjoy the trail.
No, that's well said. I mean, if no one uses it, it just eventually just turns into a dirt road eventually,
That's
or
right.
whatever the case may be. Just nature will eventually just take over right there. And I love the communication, by the way. I visited your Facebook page, the Friends of the Clinton River Trail, and I saw a post where I believe there was, and this was recent, there was a bicycle that someone left there. And someone it may have even been you. Someone posted a picture of the bike and just saying, "Hey, there's a bike here. Does anyone know where it could be?" And then different people were responding to give insight. But then it was ultimately like, "Hey, this is something that's here. Let's find a solution to get it taken care of to keep this clear for our runners." So you all keep a clear communication within the organization and the community. Can you speak to that also?
Yeah, it's an important part of what we do. So we maintain and we'll be continuing to maintain a Facebook page. We are on Instagram. We're on X, formerly known as Twitter. We have a web page. Through that web page, we have contact information for each of the city representatives, and we try to monitor these things. So if we see something going on that requires attention, we try to either connect people or make the connections ourselves in order to make sure that we stay on top of this trail. It's funny. You have a thunderstorm and a branch falls over the trail and the trail is not usable. Getting on that as quickly as possible is really important. And sometimes it's easy as just making a phone call to the right city employee in order to get that attended to quickly. So these are the types of things that we try to do. We also monitor a lot of the projects that are going on around and alongside and inside of the trail. We lend our feedback to the communities that are organizing these projects. So it is a lot about communication. So we try to maintain all of our social media connections as well as our website. And I'm always available by email at clintonrivertrail@gmail.com.
No, very important. That communication aspect. You'd be surprised because it's crazy because sometimes people's Facebook page is a lot more updated than their website. So having, that's because that's where people are. People are social on Facebook. So I completely understand making sure that communication via social media is important within the organization and with the people who actually follow you all too. Before we go, Josh, one more time, can you give a little bit more information in regards to the party, the celebration of 20 years of the Clinton River Trail on May 22nd, and just give any additional information you'd like to tell
I
the
would love
community?
to. So around the communities in the various community halls, hopefully in libraries and bike shops very soon, you'll see these little flyers with all of the details. We also have along the trail, as well as can be downloaded by PDF, a map of the Clinton River Trail and the information, especially on this card about the party. But I will say it again, it's Wednesday, May 22nd at the Goldner Walsh Nursery on Orchard Lake Road in Pontiac. It's an amazing nursery and community asset, great place to get flowers and things for your garden. We've got two speakers that are coming. Todd Scott, who is the executive director of the Detroit Greenways Coalition and was very, very involved in the early days of the Clinton River Trail, along with Andrea LaFontaine, the executive director of the Michigan Trails and Greenway Alliance. Todd and Andrew will be giving brief presentations, but we're having a party and we're planning on having fun. Wednesday, May 22nd, Goldner Walsh Nursery. Orchard Lake Road, it's going to be in the evening. The exact time will be posted on our websites. Get out and use the trail. Enjoy it. Have a great time.
Precisely, Josh. And while we were just talking, I just thought of the fact that this trail, 16 miles long. So I'm just now learning this and seeing this. It expands, like we said, it goes through multiple communities: Sylvan Lake, Pontiac, Auburn Hills, Rochester Hills. Can you speak to how this trail can possibly contribute or does contribute to uniting all of these communities together? Like you said, going to different city council meetings and telling people about the work they've done and things of that nature. Can you speak to that, please?
Absolutely. So, even yesterday, John Martin, who's the city manager in Sylvan Lake, was talking a little bit about the trail, was talking about the importance of the fact that these all connect. And Michigan boasts one of the largest rail trail networks in the United States. A few years ago, it was the largest. Now there's probably a little bit of competition, but the connectivity of these trails makes them very important. They're incredible for local recreation, but they're also incredible for larger adventures. My son and I rode 300 miles across the state of Michigan on the Great Lake to Lake Trail 1 that goes from South Haven to Port Huron. That's 300 miles, but it includes the 16 glorious miles that is the Clinton River Trail. Most of the trail is used for recreation and health, and that's incredibly important. But there are many people who use it as part of their daily commute to work.
Yeah.
And so it provides accessibility, it provides transportation, it provides recreation to everybody. And so they're incredibly important. And it's an amazing demonstration of productive reuse of an asset. I mean, these were railroads. They were railroads, then they were abandoned railroads, and now they're glorious trails for all of us to use and enjoy.
That's always the interesting history to hear about trails. You know, some of them at least. You know, they went from being like used, tracks for trains, logging things around, then, like you said, abandoned, and then we repurposed that entire space into something that we can all use. Can you just tell us what, from your perspective as Vice President of the Friends of the Clinton River Trail, as well as a user, what are your future plans or vision for Clinton River Trail?
So it's two things. One is maintenance. It is making sure that we stay on top of these trails and make sure that they don't degrade, and encouraging the relevant parties to make the important investments in helping them along the way. The second thing is, to some extent, completion. Whether it's the Clinton River Trail, Lake to Lake Route 1, or all sorts of other trails throughout our community, our county, and our state, there are parts that still need to be connected, and these connections are important. They make something wonderful, something magical, because of the power of connecting these trails. So as trails exist, maintenance becomes a bigger part of it.
Correct.
But there's also continued completion. The thing I would encourage people to do the next time they're on any trail, any trail, is to look at some of the details, pay attention, to realize that somebody put that sign there, somebody put that bench there. Smooth paths don't just happen; they get graded or loved, or they get repaid. So this requires a lot of continuous attention that sometimes goes unnoticed, and so notice it.
And that was a great point and a great place to land too, Josh, because things just don't naturally happen. The trees and nature didn't grow that bench or put that sign there. That came from working the community and the city. Thank you again so much for your time, again, being joined by Vice President of the Friends of the Clinton River Trail, Josh Eichenhorn. Thank you again for your time.
Thank you for having me, Kevin.
Absolutely. It's so great to find out information about nature and trails and things that are in our backyard here in Sylvan Lake, Keego Harbor, Orchard Lake, as well as West Bloomfield. And that Clinton River Trail, 16 miles long, extending throughout multiple communities, definitely something that we all should enjoy, especially as we are in the spring and entering the summer months also. And continuing on that conversation, from a different perspective, we actually are being joined by Sylvan Lake City Council member Ben Clark to tell us a little bit more about the Clinton River Trail, the recent meeting, and the future of it. Thank you again for joining us, Ben.
Pleasure to be here.
So, we were recently talking about the status of the Clinton River Trail from the perspective of the Vice President of the Friends of the Clinton River Trail, Josh Eichenhorn. But now, from your perspective, you are also a user of the trail and, like we said, a Sylvan Lake City Council member. Can you talk about, from your perspective, a little bit about the recent meeting and just your perspective of the trail overall?
Yeah, so I'm a council member, and as a Sylvan Lake resident too, we absolutely value the trail. It's nearly 20 years old. They're celebrating 20th anniversary, um, and it's been a wonderful asset. The trail that was never supposed to happen did happen, and you know, we have seen such a growth in its use. It's really incredible. Um, and as a trail user, I ride my bike to work, so I use it to get to work, and uh, I use it almost all summer.
Yeah. So, from your perspective, being part of city council and obviously, like we said, just a user of the trail, what challenges or concerns do you see with the trail in Sylvan Lake, and how would you address them?
So I think for me, the biggest thing is I see people use the trail during the spring and fall thaw season. It's really more like a winter thaw season, but basically, people do a lot of damage to the surface of the trail using it when it's muddy. So I guess what I'd like people to understand is that damage when you see your footprints and you see your bike tires in the trail needs to be repaired every season, and it comes to the tune of quite a bit of money, almost $40,000 we have committed to that
Sheesh.
for our very very small section.
Oh my goodness, Ben, I would never have thought it would take something like that to repair or maintain those trails. But that's great information. That's some type of information that I wasn't privy to. So yes, make sure you are taking care of the trails and I guess using them less during the winter season. Is that correct? Is that what we're
Only really
essentially?
if you see your footprints or your tire in the mud. It's
Oh.
miserable to be doing that.
Hmm.
Walking in the mud is no fun. Biking in the mud is no fun. But with the advent of e-bikes and things like that that make it a little easier to push through the mud, you can really do quite a bit of damage, and it ruins it for other trail users who need that smooth surface.
Yeah, understood. Understood. Great perspective. Thank you for adding that. Joining us right now, Sylvan Lake City Council member Ben Clark, talking about the status of the Clinton River Trail as they celebrate 20 years here in the Sylvan Lake community. How are you making sure that the needs of the users and the residents of Sylvan Lake in regards to this Clinton River Trail are being heard and considered in any decisions being made?
Well, we have a city council meeting every month and a study session. We passed something, or what do we do? We funded some crossings to make them more handicap compliant. They cross it at Pontiac Drive in a straight line, and at Inverness too. So that was one way, I guess, that we've kind of like helped improve the trail. Um, Otherwise, I think we talk about it a fair bit, using it. We're a small community, so people
Hmm.
hopefully see that we're users of the trail too.
So with that's a great point. With that being said, a small community, I think that's very, very important because we all know each other. We're all neighbors. We're all family and things of that nature. Can you talk about the importance of the neighbors, the family, and just residents in general using the trail and maintaining the trail, and actually how it builds the camaraderie within the community also?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. It does build community. It's a very safe walking path. There's a huge amount of pedestrian traffic in Sylvan Lake. That's a good thing from my perspective. We really love walkers and bikers and everyone who comes to our community. And a lot of people from outside the community really come through our community because it's beautiful to walk through. The trail gives them a great access point. I know many people add it as part of a loop in their walk. We've used it as part of a loop in the glow roll, which is a bike parade that Gavin Marshall puts on, and that's been going on for a few years now. I think that started maybe around COVID, but anyways, we do like a bike loop with lights on bikes, and it's a cool community event. And then yeah, just generally, people do get together through trail use, and that's excellent.
Nice, nice. Any last words, any important information for the Sylvan Lake community, Ben, or future aspirations, or I should say future goals or plans for the Clinton River Trail that you want to tell people about?
Sure. I think the bigger picture of the Clinton River Trail, hopefully people continue to use it for more transportation purposes. Like I did kind of mention, e-bikes are something new, and growing in popularity radically. I hope that in the long term, people kind of start seeing, hey, I could get, to some of those Orchard Lake businesses like Kroger and do some grocery shopping, like small order grocery shopping, and bring it back home that way rather than driving cars quite so much. And businesses hopefully will start to see to turn themselves towards the trail, realize that that's a really valuable access point, and it can grow that way.
Great point. Great information. And thank you again so much for your time. Sylvan Lake City Council member Ben Clark joined us talking about the Clinton River Trail, the status of it, and the recent Silver City Council meeting about it. Thank you again for your time, Ben.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Love the fact that we were able to get two different perspectives about the Clinton River Trail, something that does affect us in the Sylvan Lake community. But we have so much more to tell you about, keep you updated on within the community. We are live, we are local, we are social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live. Bringing you stories and memories from Kego Harbor, Civic Center TV, and 89.3 Lakes FM.
1 in 4 Michigan homes has high levels of radon, a naturally occurring radioactive gas known to cause lung cancer. It doesn't matter where you live or what type of home you have. You won't even know it's there unless you test. So don't wait. Testing is cheap and easy. And if there's a problem, it's simple to fix. Visit michigan.gov/radon to learn more.
We took action. Will you?
Want to enjoy Civic Center TV on your social media? Find us on Instagram at Civic Center TV. Get notified when we upload one of our interviews, full episodes, and more. Thank you for watching and listening to Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. And now, back to the Splash, live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. How are you doing? I'm your host, Kevin McIntosh. Thank you so much for being here and joining us. We have a huge event coming up. I mean, if you want to call it an event, it is somewhat of a natural event. Solar eclipse is scheduled to appear or happen on April 8th, I believe, this upcoming Monday, and it is quite a sight to see. Not that I've seen it before, but we actually had the chance to speak with Oakland Astronomy Club member from the Solar Outreach associate from the Oakland Astronomy Club, I should say, Matt Shea, to talk about a little bit more about this upcoming eclipse. And Matt, first off, can you talk about exactly what a solar eclipse is, please?
So a solar eclipse is very simply when the moon is directly between the sun and the earth. Mm-hmm. The eclipse is the shadow of the moon as it passes over the earth. I will add here, eclipses happen when the sun, the moon, and the earth are in perfect synergy, fancy word for alignment. An eclipse just means that one celestial body is casting a shadow on another celestial body. Sometimes our moon is in the shadow, and sometimes the earth is in the shadow, like will happen on April 8th.
Nice. Okay, so, all right. So with that being said, that makes perfect sense. Understood that. But here's my thing. When I was coming up, it was to my understanding, and maybe I just understood wrong, that eclipses are very rare. Like you would see it, or maybe it would happen once, maybe twice in a lifetime. But now I feel like they're happening every 4 years, like the Olympics. Now, are they really rare? What is considered rare? Like, uh, is it just common? Like, can you just debunk that for me, please?
Absolutely. So I will say that solar and lunar eclipses are not rare, and they can happen between 4 and 7 times a year.
Oh,
But solar eclipses are thought of as rare because about 71% of the Earth is covered by water. So relatively few eclipses happen where people can easily view them. Additionally, statistically speaking, some eclipses happen during the cloudy winter months. I think the
mm,
reason we hear more about them is because of the internet, because we're more connected and we can experience eclipses from around the globe much easier. I'll
good.
finish this part by saying while eclipses are not rare, having them happen right on our doorstep is really cool. With any luck, we might also have good weather for viewing on the 8th.
Yeah, yeah, no, I hear we're supposed to be at least inching a little bit closer towards the 50s or 60s during
Yeah.
that time. But great information, Matt. Great information because I don't know where I don't know where I got that myth from that they only happen once or twice in a
We all
lifetime. Well,
think
that's good.
that. We all think that until you see a map showing eclipses around the globe, and you'll see that they're happening all the time. But again, most of them are over water.
Oh. Ooh, it'd probably be so nice to be out on the water and then see the eclipse. And it's just water around. That's
That'd be
probably a
fantastic.
beautiful view too. I know,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so Matt, I want to ask also. So I'm hearing that you can only see it in certain places. Like you said, you can only see it in water in certain places. So is this Monday, April 8th time solar eclipse the one opportunity where us people in Michigan, maybe specifically West Bloomfield, can see these eclipse, or where's the region where we can actually see it?
Well, if you're a patient, we'll have another one in the area in 2045. It's a little long to wait, though. Um,
Okay.
I have good news, though. Everybody in the continental US will actually see the eclipse on the 8th. Most people will see a partial eclipse, which is caused when the sunlight is only partially blocked by the moon, and we just get a crescent of the sun showing through. We call this region where everybody can see a partial eclipse is the penumbra. People directly under the full shadow of the eclipse, which is caused when all the sunlight is blocked by the moon, will see the full eclipse. We call this region the umbra, and that's a much smaller portion of the path. Uh,
Mm,
anyone within the umbra is within the path of totality. We call it totality because the sunlight is totally blocked.
right,
So
right.
let's talk the region here. Lower Michigan will absolutely witness the partial eclipse.
Okay.
Most people will see between 90 and 98% of the shadow. Um, I do want to mention, though, be prepared for traffic. 298 million people live within driving distance for the path of totality. And in 2017, we had another eclipse in the US, and I was at that one. I can tell you that traffic extended for hours. One
Wow, really?
statistic I particularly remember is in the Denver Post reported that a road crossing in Wyoming had traffic increase by 821%. And
In
the local,
Wyoming.
yeah, the local sheriff actually said it took 5 days for the traffic to build, but as soon as the eclipse was done, everybody left at exactly the same time.
Yeah, it makes
And,
sense.
and then
Yeah.
driving back, we had about a 45-minute drive back to the hotel in 2017, and it took us 5 hours. And
Ooh.
don't forget, we thought, because we grew up there, we thought we knew all the back roads and we'd be sneaky and we'd get through.
Mm-hmm.
Because all of your neighbors know exactly those same back roads.
Okay.
Um,
Okay, that's an interesting thing to point out too. The traffic to wherever the most popular part
yeah.
is for the eclipse too. So that's something for people to know.
And
Joining
and
us. Oh, go
one
ahead, please.
safety note: if you're stuck in a traffic jam on the highway and you have little ones or older folks, it may be difficult to get to the bathroom. So just plan ahead, think about that before jumping into the traffic jam.
Yeah, good point. See, and that's why we have you here. Once again, Solar Outreach Associate for the Oakland Astronomy Club, Matt Shea, joining us, talking about the upcoming eclipse that we can see on April 8th. Matt, I want to also ask you this too, right? Because that was a great point that you just pointed out. The fact that it built a lot of traffic, a lot of, people wanted to see this in the most popular spot in the area. And then soon as it was over, it was over. Like people just dispersed like that. So how long does an eclipse last? Is it for a split second? How do people enjoy it? Are we just getting pictures? Are people, just coming outside, enjoying the earth? How do you enjoy the eclipse?
Well, so the best way to enjoy the eclipse is to get some solar safe glasses. Every public library in America is handing those glasses out, by the way. And then you can just step outside and watch the eclipse. The eclipse is actually several hours long. In West Bloomfield, the shadow of the moon is going to start to cover the sun at 1:58 p.m. The maximum amount of coverage, which is 98.1%, the maximum amount will happen at 3:14 p.m. So already you've got about an hour and a quarter to watch the sun get covered. And then the eclipse will be complete about 4:26 p.m. And that's when the shadow of the moon moves away from us.
Wow. In the middle of the day like that. That's kind of crazy. I can't wait to see it now, man. Oh, that's what's up, man. I'm excited. So, okay. And these glasses.
Yeah.
These glasses. Thank you for telling me, because I had no idea. So even though the sun is being blocked by the moon, we still can't, we're not supposed to advise to look directly at it. Why is this? Can you please, Matt?
I can. This is a really important point. I'm going to get serious for a moment.
Okay.
Our eyes do not have pain receptors. We don't know when they're being damaged when you look at the sun. So even though less than 2% of the sun will be visible in West Bloomfield, it is far too much to look at safely. And there was an old saying when I grew up that you could put on welder's glasses and view the sun during a solar eclipse. Also not true.
Wow.
There are reports this year that there are knockoff solar glasses being sold cheaply. I would not get solar glasses personally at corner market or gas station or anything. I would go to your local library, or I would check the NASA homepage, and they have a list of approved vendors with expedited shipping where you can get them.
Great information. Great point too, man. Okay, so there's not only should you get these solar glasses to look at the eclipse, but there's certain solar glasses from certain retailers and brands that you should consider.
Approved, right? Not knockoffs.
Correct. Right,
And then
right.
another thing you can do is there are going to be hundreds of people live streaming the eclipse all the way from Mexico up through Canada. One particular thing that I will be watching will be a hot air balloon project from the University of Colorado, I believe. You can take a giant balloon, a really cool camera, and a cellular access point, and go up a couple thousand feet and film the shadow as it moves across the ground. So that's going to be really cool to watch.
Ooh, that's nice. See, this is why we have you here, Matt. See, so you can give us that key information just in case we want to see it from another perspective.
Yeah.
That's going to be groundbreaking.
Yeah. There'll be a lot of opportunities.
Yeah. Great. No, I completely understand, Matt. Any final thoughts that you want to share for us? Anything that we didn't go over? Any other information that you want to give to people? Any way people can reach out to you?
I am with, as you said, the Oakland Astronomy Club, oaklandastronomy.net. We are open to the public. We invite the public to come to our meetings every month. Our schedule is posted on our website. We invite the public to come to our open viewing days. If you'd like to look through a telescope at night, come on, join us. Look through a whole bunch of telescopes, especially if you have kids and you think they might want to get involved in astronomy. It's nice to let them see what they can actually view. It sets their expectations. Other than that, for everybody on Eclipse Day, I just want you to enjoy it. Whether you drive down into Ohio to see the path of totality, or whether you stay here, view it from your porch and online, enjoy the moment. They, as you say, they're relatively rare for any point on Earth. We only actually get an eclipse on any given point about once every 3 centuries. So, in that respect, it is rare, but
Yeah,
it's also cool,
I
right?
know. I know. It's just a point for us to just connect with nature, connect with the earth, the space, the galaxy.
Right.
We're all connected to a timeless understanding. I genuinely believe that. Matt Shea from the Solar Outreach Associate from the Oakland Astronomy Club joining us just talking about the eclipse. Matt, I could sit here and ask you 1,000 more questions, but I know we have to go. Thank you again for your time, sir. I appreciate you.
Absolute. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Thank you again, Matt Shea of the Oakland Astronomy Club, talking about the solar eclipse happening on Monday, April 8th. You can find out more about the Oakland Astronomy Club at oaklandastronomy.net. And you know what's just as precious, if not more precious, than a solar eclipse? Life. Life. More importantly, saving a life. And we actually have someone on or being joined by someone who actually just recently saved a life, already in a position to save people's life. From the Kego Harbor Police Department, we're being joined by Officer Robert Alonzi. Thank you so much for joining us.
Morning. How's it going?
Doing so great, sir. Thank you again for joining us. Now, we're getting a little bit into a serious matter because of the fact that not only does your job make you a hero, but what you did off duty makes you a hero. Saving a woman's life in a restaurant who was choking. Can you just talk about this story from your perspective from beginning to end, please?
Well, my wife had been bugging me to go out to eat that night, so it was our one night to relax. And a friend of mine, Byron Turnquist, he's the fire marshal. He and I went out with him and his wife, and we had just sat down, and some lady yelled out that this woman was choking to death, and asked if anybody knew CPR. And when we got there, she had already started turning blue, and unfortunately, her grandchildren and her whole family were there to watch this. So she started passing out once we did the Heimlich maneuver. We brought her down and cleared the obstruction out of her airway, and then we did CPR and got her back to breathing again.
Oh my goodness, man, that's hard to listen to, let alone even be there and be a part of. You just describing the scene, talking about you were there with your wife and Fire Marshal Turnquist also, and just enjoying a day off, and then you go into a situation with a woman choking while she's with her family. A
Yes.
completely scary situation, something that you would probably only hear of in the movies with the fact you saved her life. What was going through your head that entire time? Were you scared at all?
No, not at all. I've done the job for 33 years, and there's not really a lot to face me. Interesting part was when I was 16 years old, my grandmother passed away in the same manner in front of me, and I really didn't know what to do. So it was kind of beneficial to me to be able to make sure that the kids didn't go through that experience.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That is a hard thing to deal with. And I'm willing to bet that that probably did go into your mindset in saving that woman's life, having to deal with that situation with a
It
family
did.
member of your own. So
But the
my
coolest part of the
condolences for your
whole
loss also.
Thank you. Like I said, the coolest part about the whole thing, really, she looked up at me and said, "Today was my 50th wedding anniversary." So I just said, "Happy anniversary." So that's what they're out celebrating.
That's such a beautiful thing, man. I mean, the theme of this segment right here, not all heroes wear capes. We hear that a lot, but and like we said, you're an officer for the Kego Harbor Police Department. So it's literally your job to save lives and be in the community and things of that nature. But this was one of those situations where, like you said, you were off duty, enjoying time with your wife. Can you just talk about, as an officer, how, and I don't even know how to say this, but basically you're never off duty in a way. You always kind of have to pay attention to what's going on around you. Can you speak to that, please?
Oh, yeah, it tends to drive my wife crazy. She never truly understands that she's a kindergarten teacher. So we have two opposite ends of the spectrum. But essentially, when she understands I never sit with my back to the door. I'm always looking. Um, I've pulled over and helped people even off duty when they're broken down and so forth. I just, I would like to think that everybody would do that, and maybe the world would probably be a little bit better place if they did.
Yeah, no, 100%. And it's great that there's so many different things that go into this, because it's also learning the Heimlich maneuver and CPR. Because
Yes.
it's one thing to be present, it's another thing to be present and know what to do. So if I'm not mistaken, this is also, is it part of your training as an officer to learn the Heimlich maneuver as well as how to perform CPR?
Yes, sir. Every year we have to go through updated training in first aid, CPR, first responder. In the event of, God help it, if we ever have like a school shooting or something of that nature, we're trained to go in if we are there first and administer first aid once we call the threat.
Yeah, and that's the type of stuff that usually, like when your job gives you training or something like that, look, you're like, okay, I got to take this required training. You don't think too much about it. You take this training, and then when a situation happens where you have to use that, you're like, thank goodness I actually learned that. Thank goodness,
Yeah, I know.
something like that.
Exactly. You sit there and go, God, do I have to take this again? But then it works.
Right, continued education. I get it. I know all about it. So you were recognized for your beautiful
Yes, sir.
performance. And real quick, just to reset the show, join us right now, Keego Harbor Police Department Officer Robert Alonzi. Join us talking about him saving a woman's life in a restaurant recently and being acknowledged for that. You received the Certificate of Excellence as well as a pin, a service pin. Also, can you just talk about how you feel about people giving you recognition and awards after doing something like this?
I hate to sound strange. I don't really like it. My wife knows I don't even like having my picture taken. I don't do it for accolades. It made me feel good that her grandkids didn't have to see that day.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that was a situation that had to happen, but I completely understand. That's why I asked you that question. How do you feel? Because like I said, it's part of your job. It's like being applauded, which you should be applauded for your work every day, but it's like literally being applauded every day for
we don't
doing
always
your
hear it,
duties
but
as
thank you.
a sworn-in police officer. Just real quick, looking back and reflecting on that, which I would think I know the answer to this. Is there anything that you would have done differently or reacted differently in that situation whatsoever?
Not at all.
Okay, good.
So,
good information to know. Any other information that you want to tell the community? Any updates in regards to Keego Harbor Police Department, CPR, the Heimlich maneuver, any important information the community should know?
just, it would be beneficial if people did take this training. Even you don't have to be a first responder for it to be beneficial. It might be your husband, wife, mother, child. You should have some modicum of training to be able to handle the situation. And I think it could benefit anyone in any situation.
I 100% agree. Something like that, you might think it's just minor. You may think it may never even be a situation that you may need it, but it's good information to know and have anyway. Keego Harbor Police Department Officer Rob Alonzi joining us, talking about him saving a woman's life recently at a restaurant. Thank you again for your time, officer.
Yep. Thank you. Have a good day.
Absolutely, you too. Great to know that we have officers who are still very attentive even when they are off duty. You never know who's around, and that brings up another great point, that we should all look into at least learning these basic things that can save lives, such as CPR and the Heimlich maneuver. We have so much more to keep you updated on the greater West Bloomfield area. Keego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, Orchard Lake, and West Bloomfield. That's all right here live, local, and social on the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live. Bringing you stories and memories from Orchard Lake, Civic Center TV, and 89.3 Lakes FM. Live, local, and social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Join our team as we highlight people and events that are making an impact in the greater West Bloomfield area. Catch us live Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Watch us on demand at civiccentertv.com. Or watch us on TV at Comcast Channel 15 or AT&T at Channel 99. Find local municipal meetings at our program schedule on civiccentertv.com. Find when your meetings air live or when they're replaying on our Civic Center TV live stream. Find it all at civiccentertv.com and click schedule at the top of the screen.
Good nutrition can help make sure you have enough iron, calcium, and vitamin C in your body, which can make it harder for lead to enter your bloodstream. Help protect your family from the harmful effects of lead.
And now, back to The Splash, live.
That's right, live, local, and social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Thank you again so much for taking time out of your day to join us. I'm your host, Kevin McIntosh. Currently, there's a lot of different things to celebrate each week and each month, but currently this week, and I believe next week too, a lot of schools and school districts are celebrating and recognizing Assistant Principals Week. And that gives acknowledgement to people that played a key role in helping our principals in these schools, managing administration, staff, as well as student relations. So we want to congratulate and say thank you to all of our assistant principals locally. Actually, in the picture right here, we have Jamie Glenn's assistant principal for West Bloomfield High School, along with Susie Eisner. Then we have Cindy Carson and Jermaine Evans, both assistant principals for West Bloomfield Middle School. Thank you again for your service and everything that you do for the children and the community. Your hard work does not go unrecognized for Assistant Principals Week. We just want to thank them. You can go to wbsd.org or visit them on Facebook at West Bloomfield Schools for more information and to check that out also. Other things going on locally, Friends of the Library offering food and fun. This will be next week, as a matter of fact. They will be inviting in the local Dakota Bread Company, which is owned by the Friendship Circle, by the way. Dakota Bread is a certified kosher bakery, retail, and wholesale baking company, and will be participating in the What's Cooking series from the Friends of the Library. This is Wednesday, April 10th. By the way, it'll be at 7 o'clock at the main library. Once again, we said food, we said fun, and it's all for free. You had me at food, but now we ending it with free, so I love that. More information can be found on wblib.org. That's WB Library, just lib.org also. More local news going on, specifically with our West Bloomfield Police Department, just in case you are looking for a career change or you're looking for a new job. Just like we said, we will continuously keep you updated. West Bloomfield Police Department is currently hiring. They are looking for officers to play many different roles in many different departments, by the way. And as you can see, if you are watching on Civic Center TV, just to let you know, our listeners on 89.3, they have many different benefits, a pension, health care benefits, a Blue Cross Blue Shield, paid vacation, holidays, sick time, personal days, all the things we need to accommodate our law enforcement officers here in West Bloomfield. Great pay also, pays up to $92,803 based on experience and skill set. I think I need to reconsider my position. But make sure you go ahead and check that out if you want to. That's wbtownship.org/jobs, or you can check it out on Facebook at West Bloomfield PD also. Another quick reminder, today specifically, Oakland County State of the County is tonight. As a matter of fact, we have Oakland County Executive David Coulter, who will be heading that, going on, addressing last year's accomplishments, as well as looking forward and ahead to our future initiatives in the Oakland County area. Once again, that will be tonight, April 4th, 7 p.m. It is a meeting night also, so just to let you know, we will be broadcasting the event. So it will be simulcast on WBTV, by the way. That's Comcast Channel 19, as well as AT&T Channel 99. For more information, visit the website. Go to oakgov.com/SOTC for more information regarding that. We have so much more information to keep you updated on, and we are the source for what you need to know in Greater West Bloomfield. That's West Bloomfield, Orchard Lake, Sylvan Lake, and Keego Harbor. Once again, I am your host, Kevin McIntosh. Thank you for joining us live, local, and social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.